Hey guys, it's Luke from Empire Universe again. We're back for another live stream, and I got another guest with me. Join in real soon, and I guess we got him in here. So let's get Justin here.
How you doing?
Justin the Gorilla Moore. How you doing, my friend?
I'm good, mate. You okay?
I'm all right. I mean, I've been working all day. It's hot out there, so no, I'm all right. Like, how are you doing? Like, how's the weather over in the UK at the moment?
Been really good. It's been hot for about 2 weeks now. Like it's 27, 28 degrees, so it's good for England.
Yeah, whereabouts are you living at the moment?
At Bournemouth, on the south coast.
Okay. Now, what's because you're gonna have to teach me a little bit of geography here when it comes to the UK. So, what's the difference between the southern and the northern?
South, we're sort of about 2 hours away from London. If you've got London in the middle, we're sort of on the coast, sort of just opposite in front of the English Channel. Obviously, you've got France just across the water from us. So we're probably the warmest part. Good.
Well, awesome. Well, again, first off, I just want to thank you for coming in and joining in on my podcast. Sorry, I'm a touch late. I was freaking out. I was trying to find something for my laptop here, so I do apologize about that.
No worries.
So that being said, I guess like I seen that you were doing some like roofing and stuff like that. So you have your own roofing company. What's the deal there?
Yeah, I've run a roofing company. We've run it for about 10 years now. So it's good. So I've worked in roofing for years, but it's quite good now. I'm good, so I can sort of delegate guys to go and do jobs. It gives me free time to go and train and being my own boss. Obviously helps with the fighting. So I'm sort of training in the morning, then go to work. And if I need to shoot at lunchtime, like that, obviously finish sort of early as well. So it sort of works pretty well. And obviously work with roofing as well. You're down ladders and you're carrying bumping stuff, so it's almost like strength and conditioning every day. So it always helps.
Oh, nice. Yeah, and I know like I have a friend that's in roofing, and he talks a lot about you're carrying a lot of things on your back, but obviously you said that you're the boss there, so you wouldn't be doing all the heavy loading, you wouldn't be doing all the work. But is there a little bit like do you still have to be careful when you're on the job, like just?
Yeah, I try and get involved in most of it. I've got a few lads that work with me. They've been with me a few years now. But I try and sort of muck in as much as I can. But also, I'm sort of out and about quite a bit. Obviously, pricing jobs, looking at jobs as well. So, but if the job needs sort of doing, I try and sort of muck in as much as I can. So, the heavy lifting, I suddenly get quite involved with that because, like I said, it's almost like a gym session as well. So, like today, we had a hard day. We had like probably about 3,000 or 4,000 tiles to like sort of bump up a roof. So, I haven't got to train tonight because I spent sort of 3 or 4 hours today at work just bumping tiles all day. So I feel pretty good for that.
Well, because I was gonna say, like having a physical demand of a job like that, I mean, you don't need to be working out.
So that works pretty well. I've been doing it for years. I'm sort of used to it. And like when I first started fighting, I was sort of training in the morning and I'd work all day and sort of train every evening as well. I do like a class, but now with a lot of gyms being shut with the COVID stuff, see, I sort of built my own sort of gym area, sort of garage where I live. So as soon as the COVID's finished, I basically converted that to a big sort of gym, a big match space, obviously for wrestling and jiu-jitsu and the spa, weights as well. So it's not been too bad for me. I sort of come home, I go straight to the gym and sort of do what I need to do, and then I have people come over as well.
Well, and kind of having your own company, it does seem to like it'll be kind of nice for you once you retire from MMA. You still have something kind of fall back on there.
Yeah, exactly that. So MMA, obviously, it does pay pretty well, but obviously it's not regular. Like obviously, I've just had this injury for the last couple of weeks happen. Obviously, I put a lot into training, my coaches, and obviously my nutrition, stuff like that. So getting this injury was, I mean, I've got to be honest, down the last 10 days with it. The amount of sort of I've spent on training and obviously my coach and stuff like that, and for it to go to a fight is pretty demoralising. And obviously not that I fight for money, but money is a bonus and sort of covers obviously what I've sort of paid out for, especially with being out of action for like a year and a half with the COVID. I think I fought twice in February, and then obviously since. So pretty frustrating. So,
Yeah, and I could see how that'd be really frustrating. And I feel like that's kind of the narrative of an MMA fighter's life, and not just throughout the career, but talking about you have your own company, so obviously when you retire, I would assume you would continue to have that as your income. I just feel like that's kind of the narrative of every MMA fighter when they retire. It's what do I do now? I mean, that's all they've known is fighting their entire lives. Whereas you kind of play it smart. You have your own company where you're not just working. You don't just have a job, but you have a company, so you're okay.
Yeah,
Down the road.
And as well, with when the COVID stuff, gym shut all over the country. So there was obviously not just me, but a lot of people were really good to go and train. I was lucky with the sort of facility I've got in mind. A lot of guys messaged and said for rest, mental health, get to train. So I sort of had my doors open because obviously I play by the rules to stuff. But then again, and obviously guys are people just generally their well-being. I think the gym is a good thing for them. So as long as they're not being too silly and who they're mixed with, I was having people coming over nearly probably every day, guys in the evening with them, and obviously young guys who haven't sort of train them and help them and sort of teach them. But obviously my own training, using our facilities, I make the best of it. To be fair, I was in the end. I think after COVID, about sort of 15 guys coming over sort of regular every week, and obviously as soon as the restrictions lifted and the gym started opening, I just took all my guys to obviously the gyms I use. They sort of showed them sort of where I train, my coaches, and now they've sort of all signed up and joined their gyms, and it's introduced sort of more guys to the sport as well, and sort of guys who weren't sort of too confident about going in and starting, obviously because MMA today and going into a gym. It's quite good sort of introducing them to it on like a low level base here with me, and sort of helping them through it, introducing them to it, and then when they've built their confidence up, taking them to a gym, and they're sort of all there. We have like 16 of us in the class, and they're watching them all sort of train in a big area with obviously my coach. Just nice to see. They've all sort of stuck to it. Now it's been obviously all stuck to it, and they're doing really well. And it's just nice to see as well. So now I can sort of focus on my own. But I was focused on my own training, obviously getting ready for my. And obviously with the injury, it's taken a bit of a hit, but still, I'm sort of trying to. I trained yesterday morning, did a bit of sort of low impact stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And we sort of got through it okay. So I'm just sort of taking it at the moment. The leg react. We do every day on it to make sure it's hit properly. But yeah, so I want the plan is to obviously fight Kent. That's the plan, and obviously Kent's made a few comments towards me because I don't think he sort of knew the extent of the injury. So he's made a couple of comments. So I want to make sure and I see for the interview.
Well, I do want to kind of touch upon your fight with Kent, or your fight that you were supposed to have with Kent. But I do just want to backtrack here a little bit. So, I know I'm a couple months late here, but congratulations on your on with your wife and everything with the child. So you being like you being like that father in MMA, can you kind of describe the challenges separating your time from training and being a family man?
Yes, I mean it's not easy because obviously with MMA, I think any sort of combat sports, they're quite selfish sports because at the end of the day, it's you that's in there. It's you that's got to put the hard work and the training in, and it's you in there obviously fighting and trying to have a bad training session, coming home and obviously with your partner and obviously your children, it's kind of hard to just switch off straight away. So I don't like coming home and bringing have a bad day at the gym, or I don't like bringing it home and obviously complaining because they're not doing that. They deserve to hear about that. My partner Maddie, she's brilliant. Do you know what I mean? She's very understanding, and she loves coming to the gym and watching the kids. Obviously taking photos, videos, but it is like Casey, my sort of eldest. She'll be 10 in July. She's always trained a bit, like done pads with me and a bit of rolling around. But now she's a little bit older, did jiu-jitsu quite well and like doing a bit of wrestling, and she's left the striking a little bit because we're trying to get more into the jiu-jitsu side of things, and she's really enjoying it. And like she actually won the week, which was nice to see, a little trophy. And good. And obviously Ty, he's getting into it now, and he's doing really well as well. It's pretty confidence, which is nice to see. So I do think, like, obviously all children should be doing sort of something about sports, not just for the aggressive, self-confidence. And I think just especially this day and age as well, especially with how the world is now. Child knowing, not having to obviously to be the bully, but just in case anything ever sort of happens, just so they can sort of look after themselves and defend themselves, because you don't go on. I mean, what happens these days? You hear all the horror stories on TV, on the news. So I just think it's brilliant for kids, especially jiu-jitsu. I mean, I got into jiu-jitsu quite late. I mean, I wish I found it when I was sort of there, really trying to push it, not push it so much that they sort of fall. I wanted to enjoy themselves. I think with the coaches I've got, brilliant teachers like Pete Robson, my mate, who runs Greece. He's so good with the kids. Do you know what I mean? And I wish I was young. So it's just nice to see.
Well, and it's kind of good too. I mean, the fact that, like, you know, and I think it's a good reminder that, you know, I think there's a resurgence in UK MMA at the moment. Like, there's a lot of I feel like they're making kind of a comeback. That's just my opinion, but they're very. I mean, like, Cage Warriors is doing really, really good things, and a lot of good UK fighters, really up and comers as well, and they're really putting UK on the map. And it's only a matter of time when they have more events in the UK with UFC, Bellator, et cetera, with all these bigger organizations.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, Leon Edwards at the weekend, obviously he did really well against Nate. And obviously, I know Nate rocked him at the end, but I mean, Leon, I think it was class the whole fight. And you're right, there are some really good English British guys. Craig, that finished. So yeah, you're right. And there are so many young guys who are so guys who are. I mean, quite a few just in my division. I mean, there's some I'm looking forward to obviously this knee injury sorted. So, going through them.
And now I do want to talk about Cage Warriors 124. So obviously you were supposed to fight Kent Kauppinen. You know, obviously you got injured. I know, but the audience doesn't know. So can you kind of describe what happened?
Yeah, well, it was probably about 3 weeks ago now. We were doing it was like conditioning rounds. I had a couple of guys. So I had one guy come down from Wales. He's a heavyweight. Ben, he's a good guy, good level. He come down, and we had a couple of guys, local guys. A guy called Chris Kennel. He's good level as well, good wrestler. Anyway, we had it was basically like sort of striking rounds, wrestling rounds against like wall work, and it was probably round 6, round 7, a 5-minute round. So I'm getting tired. Obviously, the guys are getting tired. The guys went for it, and obviously the big guys, the guys bowling with, obviously, especially at the weekend. Sort of Chris and Ben are probably about like 120 kilos each of them, and I think one of them went for a takedown, and just an accident happened in training, and he sort of went in on my leg, and my leg sort of folded, and I heard sort of 3 popping sounds in my knee, and obviously I knew that wasn't obviously too good hearing that, and but shook it off, and it didn't feel too bad. But I think with the adrenaline going and middle of a round, I sort of carried on. Then, but as the day was, just sort of started up, and it didn't feel right. And the following day, it started getting worse. Sort of limping quite a bit. And I thought, I mean, with you always going to get. I mean, anyone who has goes up 10, hard enough, you are going to get knocks all the time, especially at that level. And yeah, I think it was on the Monday. I thought that it doesn't feel like it's sort of getting any better. So I went down to the hospital, and when I looked at like an MCL sort of tear. Again. So I went and see my physio, who I use, DTW for sports therapy. Went and seen him, and he had a look at it, and I think he put a couple of fingers on it. I nearly jumped off the bed with the pain straight away. And he said to me, he's had this, to be fair, he trains a lot of jiu-jitsu as well, Damien, and he knew the injury straight away. He said, yeah, that's your MCL. So I don't think it's like snapped, but there's definitely a tear in there. And also still sort of 50-50. I wanted to take the fight because I thought that close, the amount of work I put in, I thought I'm not backing out now. But then after talking to obviously my physio, he obviously spoke to a couple of my coaches, and I training a couple of times obviously during that week before we pulled out. We tried training, see how it reacts, but my game's very grappling based and very powerful takedown. And if I can't obviously shoot him with that takedown, then that's sort of like 70% of my game sort of gone. and so we tried to like wrestling, and any sort of rotation work, it wouldn't work. Like for sort of turning the shot to the left or turn to the right, it was just agony, and it was almost feeling like it was ready to snap. So I was doing quite a lot of hot cold therapy on it and sort of trying to maintain it. But I withdrew like 3 days ago now. Leading up to it, sort of made the decision that it can't go in against. Because Ken is, I mean, I did have a lot of respect for Ken, obviously, before he started on his little digs. But I have respect for him because he's quite a powerful guy. And he's got quite a powerful sort of low half kick. That leg takes a kick from him, and then got to think about the bigger picture a little bit with obviously a newborn baby, obviously the business to run as well, and also I'm getting married in September. So I thought if I'm going to the fight and take it, which I probably would have done sort of 5-10 years ago, just done it without even thinking. But I'm older now, I'm thinking I've got to be a bit smart with this, and I want to get that fight on Cage Warriors sort of sooner rather than later. And if it's any worse, it put me out indefinitely. So sort of unfortunately, that's a fall from the fight. I think it definitely was the right. It's still not right now. I tried grappling yesterday morning, and we've done a bit of some body lock stuff, trying sort of going into the tape. But as soon as sort of any pressure on that knee, it's still not right. I think it's going to be sort of slow, sort of up train sort of like 100% again. It's the way going forward.
Like what kind of time frame are you looking at for recovery for that kind of injury?
So I mean, the thing is, because that's what sort of drives me crazy. Because it's not like a visible injury, like it's not like it's like a break or like ripping. There's no bruising or like massive swelling. You always feel fine. But it's literally until you sort of rotate the knee or go to do something, then the pain suddenly comes in. It's quite sharp, and I'm like, oh, it's still there. So it's pretty depressing to be fair. I look fine, I feel fine, but as soon as I sort of go to anything sort of wrestling based or even boxing, if I'm going to cut an ankle, it just kicks in, and then it's obviously it feels like it's going to. So the doctors and the physio are saying like you're going to need to rest it like for a good sort of probably like 6 to 12 weeks. So, but I'm not one to just couch and rest. I'm doing a lot obviously on the bike. I can't run obviously because if it gives way, it's going to be some damage. So I'm just doing a lot of work on the assault bike and a lot of sort of strength work up top. I'm doing some striking, but just sort of basic striking, sort of in front of obviously coaches. A little bit of light sparring, but nothing moving around too much. Wrestling or jiu-jitsu, obviously sort of crazy. A couple of weeks time, go and start doing stuff on the ground. Just nothing too crazy, nothing involving my legs. Right.
Now, talking about your fight with Ken again. So, obviously you're not going to be able to fight him. Did they reschedule the fight, or what's going to happen?
I'm not sure they're doing. I wasn't actually supposed to fight. I was supposed to be fighting Will Curry, who's quite a big up and comer. He's doing pretty well. He's doing good things. I was supposed to be fighting him, and then I think because obviously the gym's shut, so that got pulled. So obviously there's no one could train. And then he fought a guy called Leroy Duncan. I think he fought. And I think Leroy beat him in the second round. And I was going to fight Leroy Duncan. There was a bit of a mix-up. Well, I think Curry got a bit upset because he wasn't happy about the finish. So basically, kicked off a bit about it. Rematch now. So they give me someone else, a guy called Kev Mullen, who was another undefeated fighter. I think he was 4-0. And I think he was Bradford. Based on more striking base, which suited me fine. And we were very keen for the fight. And then he pulled out with an injury. He pulled out, and then Kent's opponent pulled out. And so obviously I'm in cab, and I'll take whoever. So I accepted Kent straight away. Signed. That was it. So done. And obviously the injury. That one's gone down now. So, but obviously with Ken, I've had a lot of respect for Ken. So Bellator previously, and I was Bellator already sport. He beat a good friend of mine and training partner Manzolo, and he actually lost Federico I lost as well. And he's had some good fights on there. And he's beat some big names, and I had a lot of respect for Ken. You know what I mean? He's been around a long time, and he's had some good fights. Quite entertaining to watch. When I got offered the fight, I was straight away. And he tried to give me a bit of bit of a shit. He put a couple of things which involved in that, kids and family. They sort of didn't tend to get involved much in that. But he obviously was that piece. I always do it. How it is, and him for that. For the injury, and then he a couple of comments about I don't know what Cage Warriors told him. Obviously, just told him I was injured. Obviously, it was a lot more serious than I to believe. And obviously, I'll see you as soon as the injury's done. I'll be seeing you. So I've said to Ian he's he just get healed up, and we'll look to get you matched sort of October time. So all being well, as long as the injury's sort of like fully healed, I want Ken in October. So that's obviously I'll fight whoever. I don't expect Ken to wait for me. I mean, he's getting ready to go. He's going to fight. I know he's chasing that title. So I'm not trying to hold anyone back. Me that's been injured, but if it comes to September time, and if he loses the fight, which he's going to have in a few weeks, if he's still fighting, and he's still up for that, then so.
Right on, man. Now I just want your thoughts on Paddy Pimblett. I'm sure you probably heard of him. I mean, he's up and comer that's just got signed to the UFC.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts about that kid?
Yeah, he's good. He's very entertaining. His jiu-jitsu is very good. Like, some awesome looking finishes. Friends with trained many times with Nad, and obviously he actually beat Paddy on Cage Warriors for the title, and he obviously went UFC. Nad did and went UFC. He's doing good things there, and goes over and trains at Alpha Male, obviously half the year, and he's just a good guy. And obviously would be on like side with that. I think Paddy gave him a bit of shit talk, but I think obviously he would be. He's going to be upset he lost to Nad, but nothing taken away from Paddy's a good fighter, and he's obviously on. I think he's been on cage since he was like maybe I think 17, 18 possibly.
Yeah, he was young. Yeah.
He actually he put a post up the other day, obviously from when he first started to now, and he's like he looks. I mean, he looks kids. You know what I mean? He first started fighting, so and he trains hard. He's at a good gym. And he trains hard. So and he's quite entertaining now for him. So I think people like that, and they'll take to him a little bit. I think he's going to be one of them. He's going to be quite sort of polarising. I think like you'll either love him or you hate him. I think because some people don't really sort of take too well to that, but he's a cool guy, and I think he's all right. So
now, looking at your record, I mean, I don't think you've ever fought outside the UK, correct?
no, for an island over in Dublin. That's it.
Yeah, besides besides in Ireland, but you have never fought outside really your home, like your region, really.
I fought in London a few times. I fought in London probably 4 or 5 times. Obviously Dublin, and then yeah, a lot of shows obviously in the sort of local area.
Was that like your decision to kind of stay close to home?
Not really. Just I was quite late. I turned pro at I think 27, and I've spent sort of like quite a few years fighting on the regional circuit, a lot of local shows. It was a big show. The Phoenix Fight Night. I fought that quite a few times, and then off Fusion a few times. Well, that's in London. So I fought there a few times, and then Cage Warriors. I was supposed to fight on Cage Warriors a few years ago, but the guy pulled out. Fighting on Fusion for that one, and then Bellator came calling, so I went with them. Had a couple of fights with them, and then there's a show on this area called Supreme, which is quite a big show. And first Bellator, I lost to Charlie Ward, and I come back 2 or 3 fights, Supreme, won them, and then went fighting for the title, won that, and then I call from Bellator. Obviously, the one in Dublin. Obviously, when you get a call like that, obviously you're going into the lines then a little bit. Dublin. I knew it was going to be a tough fight to find an Irishman in Ireland. I mean,
yeah.
Guy as well, so he's always going to be very, very well trained. And as you know, obviously his coach birthday today. His coach here is a very good fights on. I think Team Ireland UK Polaris team. Kieran's obviously so he's got him as coach. Obviously everyone knows well. So it's obviously when you fight those guys and you're sort of in the corner of your team who you sort of train with, and you're fighting against people like John Cameron's guys. It's it's crazy. I love it. Fan of MMA as well. You go away on these big shows and you're basically mixing guys you watch on TV and you're big fans of. So it's amazing, and I feel very sort of like privileged because obviously a lot of guys spend their whole lives fighting and don't sort of get the opportunities I've had. So I feel like I've earned those opportunities, but I do also feel very lucky to just fight on those shows, sort of meet some of the people I have, and obviously go away and fight in the arena and be really public. It's been quite a journey, and it's very sort of like humble with it. It's been cool.
Glad to hear. And just the last one for you. So when should fans expect to see you back in the cage?
As soon as possible, hopefully.
As soon as possible, but ideally.
Ideally, obviously I'm getting married in September, and then the wedding's out of the way. Obviously, I expect the missus want to do a honeymoon, but as soon as the wedding's out of the way and this needs obviously, fingers crossed, it's back to obviously full working order. I want to get straight back in the full track. So I'm still, I was very close to sort of peak fitness a few weeks ago. So I'm trying to maintain that at the moment, but not sort of overdo it to me. So, but as soon as the knee's clear to go, I'm just going to get straight back in the full track. Obviously, speak to Ian and Graham and just that fight with Ken or whoever's available as soon as possible. I've got a 5-fight Warriors, and obviously now the COVID thing's starting to obviously die down. I want to get back to business as soon as possible, and I want Ken, and I want a couple of fights after that, and then I'll look for that title because I don't think my middleweight division I'm sort of too worried about. I think with my strength and sort of my size, there's no one I'm sort of too worried about. I just want to get the ball rolling and get fighting again. So I spent long enough sort of sat there watching, and I just want to get this knee hit and get back to business.
Excellent, Justin. Well, it's a pleasure having you on here. I appreciate you taking the time to come on here. I know it's getting starting to get late over in the UK at the moment, so I appreciate you taking the time to come in here, talk a little bit about your career and unfortunate situation that happened with your fight with Kent. But hopefully, you can get that fight soon, and we'll see you back in the cage, man.
Cool. Thank you very much as well. Appreciate it.
All right, you take care, Justin.
Guys, take care.
Well, if you guys enjoyed that, please like, comment, and subscribe. And we'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much.